Alrighty, hi everybody. So I just came back from the theater after seeing Blink twice, and I gotta say I like this a lot more than I expected to. Because at a glance, when I was watching the previews in the movies, I really thought this was gonna be another cheaply made horror. Well, not cheaply made horror, another cheaply made thriller that would be produced by like the akin of like Blumhouse or something like that. And to say that's what this really was would be a huge disservice to the movie because it's a lot more than that. There's a lot of things that this movie does as a thriller right compared to like most things Blumhouse would produce nowadays, like Imaginary or Five Nights at Freddy even, right? And that would be the way it builds its tension. Now, before we get into the movie, I do want to point out the fact that this is Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm aware of her work, other than the fact that she was Catwoman in The Batman back in 2022, and that she's the daughter of Lenny Kravitz. And that's really all I know about Zoe Kravitz, to be honest. And even Lenny Kravitz himself, I can't really say I know much about him either. Like, wasn't he like a rocker or a rock star or something? I don't know. I just only know him by name because of How I Met Your Mother. So now let's actually talk about the movie. Something I see missing, especially in modern day horror, right, or even thrillers, is the ability to build tension. This movie does it right. It does it by creating a mystery that actually intrigues the audience. And with the movie creating a mystery instead of just revealing its full hand to the audience, it will string along the audience for the answer, and it actually keeps the audience more engaged, unlike, instead of just revealing the whole plot to the audience right away. And that mystery and just not knowing what's happening or what's going on is what builds the suspense, and that suspense adds to the tension. And the movie also knows when and how to slowly reveal things to the audience, right? As the audience starts piecing things together, reveals new story elements that would confuse the audience even more, adding to the tension, right? Everything it does, or most things this movie does, is to build intrigue, to build mystery, and it just naturally, there's just more and more tension just grows. And that is actually further boosted by the fact that, you have a very great performance from both Channing Tatum and I think her name was Naomi Ackie as the other main lead. Hold on, I need to look this up. This is bothering me. Yeah, it was Naomi Ackie as Frida. Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Specifically, mostly Channing Tatum, right? Like, I really thought that Channing Tatum was quite the typecast. He plays the same person in every movie. We got Magic Mike, got Fly Me to the Moon, and you got The Lost City, and even his short cameo in The Bullet Train, he was kind of like, it's what you expect from Channing Tatum. It's Channing Tatum being Channing Tatum, which is fine under the right circumstances, or if you just accept him for who he is and you just enjoy his character. But in this film, he really took on a different persona. Like, he was an actual character for once. Slater King, the character he plays, has like a very reserved and like nonchalant coyness to him, right? And it actually plays really well into his conniving nature. He was also very strategically charismatic as well when he needs to be. But at the end of the day, like, the movie lets you know that, hey, there's definitely something wrong with this dude, but we don't know what it is. And the way he is behaving isn't making it easier for the audience to figure out as well. So like, once again, there's another mysterious aura to the overall plot that keeps the audience engaged because they're interested in finding out what his true character is. And then Naomi Ackie also put up a great performance as well. For the most part, like, you really felt what she was feeling. Like, when she was having fun, you kind of having fun with her character as well. When she was absolutely fearful for her life, you kind of felt fear with her, or for her, I guess you can say that too. And whenever she was confused, you also felt confused with her. She was a great self-insert for the audience so that we could participate in what was happening as a story unfolded. Now, I do want to say and point out that there is a major flaw that people are critiquing this movie for, and I actually kind of have to heavily agree with what they're saying about it as well. And it's the main messaging of the movie. Now, the main message itself isn't really the problem, or at least not for me anyways, but it's more so the way it was handled and the way it was delivered. So first of all, they just tell you what the main theme of the movie is. First of all, show, don't tell. And that's the crazy thing as well, right? The movie was actually doing a really good job at just showing you the story, showing you the message that it wants you to take away from the movie. And when you suddenly just tell the audience what it is, it creates this disconnect. It's like, oh, there's really no need for me to be really invested anymore in what the movie's trying to say. Yeah, the sequence of events may still be interesting and intriguing to stay engaged with, but the long-term impression is heavily hurt by the fact that you just told the audience what the main message is. Because what you want to do as a movie is to stay on the mind of the audience even after the movie is over. And in this situation, right, having us ponder on what we just witnessed and taking in what we just saw and try to figure out what the movie's trying to say, that's how you stay in the audience mind even after the credits roll. However, because this movie just kind of just gives it to you, right, you kind of like, oh, it's not really much for me to really think about now that I'm done watching the movie. It was a great experience. There's a lot of technical filmmaking that was done really well for this movie, but to really look back on its themes and its messaging, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I can see it because, you know, like I said, they're doing a good job at just showing it to you, right? But now they just told me, I'm like, okay, there's really not much for me to think about anymore. Like, all my suspicions and my speculations kind of just confirmed, right? Because the theme of the movie at the end of the day is about a power dynamic, or how people in power use their resources to take advantage, manipulate, and control other people, right? That's really what this movie was trying to showcase. And like I said, they're doing a really good job at just showing it to the audience, but then you kind of just came out and just said it, and now I'm just like, okay, that's cool, whatever. And the way they handled the message as well, they kind of just say it in passing, and then like they just kind of toss it to the side, and I'm just like, dude, really? That's kind of disrespectful. But damn, I was going somewhere with that. But once they reveal everything to you, right, like what the main theme and message is, and the main takeaway that the filmmakers want you to walk away with, they don't really do much with it anymore after that. After that, it really did feel like a by-the-book thriller, like the way the events just play out. And I will say this though, however, when it does start playing out as a standard thriller, it felt more earned and deserved, because it appropriately built up to that point, so it works in the end. So ultimately, like, I know this movie really tried to send a message to the audience, and I don't really think it did the best job in terms of storytelling, or it doesn't do a good job in a storytelling sense to deliver its message. However, the movie as an experience was done really well, and that's really the main thing I really wanted to say about this movie, really. And like I said, I don't know if the botched delivery of its main theme and message is enough to really give it a rotten score. I do think that's a little unfair and over dramatic, because this movie still has a lot to give beyond its theme and beyond its message. The performances did what they need to do, and all the other mechanical moving parts in the movie to make a movie just works. Not just works, but works the way it wants to. And that's really all I have to say about this movie. Like, and to be honest, driving home, I was like thinking to myself, you know, there's not a lot for me to really say about this movie. But as soon as I started typing in my letterbox, like, everything just kind of came to me. And to be honest, this video wasn't about to be recorded at all. Like, originally, it was just going to be part of my monthly roundup. But here we are. Bonus content for y'all, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Zoe Kravitz has up her sleeve, other than just the Batman 2. I do think this was a very damn solid directorial debut, and you know what? And that makes me happy. And for Channing Tatum, I don't really know. I mean, I don't think the dude's hurting for roles. He's well off, even after this, right? Let's just say, hypothetically, Channing Tatum was just being Channing Tatum again in this film. I think he's still good. He's still fine. He's still going to find roles. With that being said, I don't know how this is going to affect his career moving forward. Should I expect more range from his acting or whatever? But I don't know, man. That's really all I have to say about Channing Tatum on the matter. Like, he did good. That's it. Moving on. But yeah, I think that's really all there is to say about this movie. And you know, I made a vow to not just ramble just for the sake of rambling, so I could have content to make. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Have y'all seen the movie? What do y'all think of it? Tell me down below. Yada yada yada, all that YouTube jazz I don't like to say out loud. Anyways, see you nerds.